What if I told you I kicked my stepmother out of my home, which she thought was hers, and I waited until she went on her honeymoon, but she's not going on a honeymoon with my father like you would think since she's my stepmom. No, my father is battling pancreatic cancer. And this entire time, she is with some guy named Igor, and he is her new thing. And I don't want to break it to my father because he's obviously in a horrible mind state right now. Currently, he's laying in his bed and he can't sleep because he's in pain. And the last thing I want to tell him is, hey, the woman that you've loved for the last 10 years is cheating on you. So I avoid that conversation, but I know what she's doing. She's waiting on him to not be here any longer so she can take his home. But little does she know, he already gave me the house and the will. So it's going to be under my name and I'm going to kick her out. When she goes off to her little new honeymoon phase, I'm going to kick her out and rent this home out and move away. So that's what I'm going to do, and you guys can witness it. I made this account because I need to get this in the air. I honestly don't know if I'm the jerk here or if I finally did something right. This is long, really long, but I need to write it all out. Here it is. My name's Jerry. I'm 26 years of age. About 8 months ago, my father passes from pancreatic cancer. It was very brutal, see. 6 months from diagnosis to gone. I watched him waste away in the house that I grew up in. The house my mother decorated before she passed when I was 12. The house still smells like her, sometimes. Like her lavender soap and the specific way she would burn that cinnamon candle in fall, and there's a scratch on the hardwood floor in the hallway from when I was 9 and tried to ride my bike inside. Mom was so mad that she didn't talk to me for 2 hours. Then made her famous chicken pot pie for dinner, and we were fine. Dad never fixed the scratch, said it was part of the house's story. My father remarried when I was 16 to Sabrina, and look, I tried, I did. She wasn't cruel or anything, just performative. Everything was a show. She would hug me in front of Dad's friends and call me her boy. But the second we were behind closed doors, it was like I didn't even exist. She would walk past me in the kitchen without a word. Forget to save me dinner, small stuff, Nothing I could really point out and say, this is bad, this is abuse, but enough that I never felt like I had anyone to call home. When I got into college, Dad was proud. It earned a full academic scholarship for me to a good state school for engineering. Sabrina smiled and said all the right things at my graduation party, but I remember her pulling father aside later and saying something about how nice it must be that we don't have to pay for anything, like my scholarship was a gift to her wallet. I moved out, got my degree, and landed a decent job as a project engineer about 2 hours away. I would visit Dad every few weeks, and Sabrina would be always there, hovering. She's gotten him to redo the kitchen, ripped out Mom's old blue cabinets, and put in this sterile white and gray thing that looked like a hotel. She wanted to get rid of Mom's garden, said it was too much maintenance and Dad would not let her touch it though. That was his line. About a year ago, I'd say. Dad met Ivan, Sabrina's friend from her book club, except Ivan started showing up more and more and Dad was getting sick. I could see something shifting in how Sabrina would act. She got lighter, started talking about plans in the future, in a way that felt wrong given my father was literally at the edge of his life. Here's the thing that really got to me though. 2 months before father passed away, I came to visit and brought my PS4. I had it since college, It was actually a gift from my mom's sister, Aunt Mary, right before she died. She said Mom had bought it for my next birthday and made Mary promise I would get it. So that PlayStation wasn't just a console, it had Mom's last gift embedded in it. If that makes sense. I left it at Father's because he liked watching me play. Said the graphics were like a movie you can control. It made him happy in those last weeks when nothing else did. One day I came over and it was just gone. I said, "Where's my PlayStation?" Sabrina barely looked up from her phone. She says, "Oh, that old thing. It's an old model. Ivan's nephew wanted something to play with. I gave it to him." I just stared at her. "You gave away my PlayStation?" Jerry, you're 26 years of age. You're too old to be playing video games anyways. His nephew is 12. He'll actually use it. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell her what it meant, but she wouldn't have cared, and Dad was sleeping upstairs too weak to deal with it, so I swallowed it and added it to the list. The worst part, she smiled when she said it. This little smug smile like she's done me a favor by teaching me to, quote, grow up. Father died on a Tuesday in March, hospice nurse. Me and Sabrina were in the room. He's been barely conscious for 3 days, but that Sunday before, he had a moment of clarity. It happens sometimes at the end, they say. They actually have a name for it called terminal lucidity. He asked Sabrina to give us a minute. She laughed, but I could tell that she didn't like it. Jerry, what do you need in life? I don't know, Dad. To be okay, I guess. To be okay. You know what you need. Less than you think. Your mother taught me that. She made a home out of nothing. She made me feel like I had everything when we had nothing. I'm leaving you the house, Jerry. It's in the will. Don't let anyone take it from you. It's yours. It's your mother's. Don't lose it. I held his hand and I said, I will not. He said, good, good, and his eyes closed, and he said, Sabrina, she'll be taken care of, but the house is yours. Promise me that. I said, I promise, Dad. That was the last real conversation that we ever had. This will reading was 2 weeks after the funeral. Dad's lawyer, the older guy named Mitchell, who handled Dad's business stuff for years, laid it all out. The house went to me, fully paid off in my name. The majority of Dad's liquid assets went to Sabrina. We're talking his savings, his retirement account, a solid 6-figure sum, not set for life-type money, but enough to live comfortably if you're smart. Small endowments. Went to a few aunts and cousins, including my cousin Benji, who's more like a brother to me. I call him Ben. Sabrina played it cool in the lawyer's office, said she understood, that Dad has always wanted me to have the house, that she was just grateful for the time that they had together, very composed, very mature. I should have known better. 3 days later, she starts talking about our house, how we need to figure out the living arrangements and how she's been thinking of downsizing anyways. Maybe we could sell and split the profit. What? It's not your house, Sabrina. It's mine. The will's clear. But I live here too, Jerry. I've lived here for 10 years. You can't just kick me out. I'm not kicking you out. I'm just saying it's my home. You got the money. That was the deal. Oh, your father would be so disappointed in you. I thought we were a family. We're not family. We never were. I don't even like you. That's when she got cold. Fine, but I'm not going anywhere. You'll have to drag me out. And then a week later, she announced that she was engaged to Ivan. They've been secretly dating for 6 months, and she said that they were getting married in 2 months, small ceremony, then a honeymoon in Prague, and the Shet's countryside. 3 weeks in Europe. She was so excited. I saw it for what it was. She was marking territory, showing me that she had a backup plan, that she was not leaving my house without a fight, and that's when I start a plan. I call up cousin Ben. I tell him everything, and Ben's solid, man. Works in finance, smart with contracts and all the legal stuff as well, and he said, dude, it's your home, you have options. Well, like what? Like she has no legal claim? You can change the locks, dude. You could box up her stuff and you could rent it out, and as long as you do it right, she can't do crap. She would lose her mind though, man. Yeah, she would. So what? I sat on it for a week and thought about Dad, thought about Mom, thought about my PlayStation 4 and Sabrina's smug little smile, and thought about her trying to erase Mom from the house piece by piece. Then I called Mitchell, Dad's lawyer, asked him what I could legally really do. He was quiet for a moment, then he said, Jerry, the house is yours. She's a tenant at best, and honestly, she's not even that since there's no lease in writing and she hasn't paid any cents in rent. You could give her notice to vacate 30 days in this state. You have to at least do that, but that's it. Well, what if I want to rent it out? Hello, it's your property. It's your call. Just document everything and follow the law that I tell you. So I did. I gave Sabrina a formal written notice, 30 days to vacate, and had Mitchell draft it all up very official. She laughed in my face and said, you can't do this. This is my home. It's my house. You have 30 days. It says it right here. And she says, I'm not leaving. I said, I'll have you evicted. She didn't believe me. Kept living there like nothing was going on, planning her wedding, talking to Ivan on the phone about honeymoon restaurants. Meanwhile, I started looking for tenants, posted the house for rent in 3-bedroom, 2-bath, nice neighborhood, mom's garden out back, and priced it fair but not cheap. Mark and Maddie responded within 2 days. Young couple, early 30s. Mark's a barista. Maddie's a primary school teacher. See, they were moving to the area for work and needed a place fast, had great references, and we met for coffee. They're normal. Normal, kind. Maddie saw a photo of the garden and got genuinely excited. I like them already. So I offered them a deal, a 1-year lease, first and last months up front as well, and the move-in date is exactly 3 days after Sabrina's wedding while she is in Prague. They signed the dotted lines. Sabrina's wedding was small. I didn't go. She did not invite me, which was fine. She and Ivan flew out the next morning for their 3-week honeymoon, and the day after she left, I got to work. I called a locksmith, changed every lock on the house, doors, windows, garage, the side gate, everything. Then I called a moving company, paid them extra to work fast, and we packed up all of Sabrina's stuff, clothing, toiletries, furniture that she brought in, her books, her kitchen gadgets, all of it. I kept anything that was Dad's and Mom's, that's it. Everything that was hers in a box. I rented a storage unit right across the way. Prepaid, 4 months, had everything moved there, put the keys in the unit, info in the envelope. I felt sick doing it, not guilty exactly, but it was brutal, man. Going through her things, seeing her handwriting on grocery lists stuck to the fridge, a photo of her and Dad on their anniversary, I was not cruel about it, I didn't trash it, but I was thorough. The house was empty on her 2-day out. Then I did a deep clean, scrubbed everything, aired it out, put fresh linen. I brought back some of Mom's old things from my apartment, a quilt, some picture frames, a ceramic bowl that she used to keep fruit in, made it feel like it was home again. Mark and Maddie moved in on schedule, signed the lease, handed over a check, and did a walkthrough. Maddie asked about the garden, and I told her it was my mother's. She said that she would take good care of it, and you know what? I believe her. I gave them my number and Mitchell's number and then told them if anyone shows up claiming that they live there, call me immediately, and they looked confused, but agreed. And then I waited. So, Sabrina, she calls me from Prague, excited, a little tipsy, telling me about some castle they saw. She mentioned that she left her good jacket at home and asked if I could mail it to her hotel. Sure, I'll see what I can do. I didn't mail anything. Not a single thing. I'll update you guys in a bit. This is already too long, and, you know, she's in Prague, so there's not much to talk about. Update number 1, it's been a few days, and then those days turned to weeks. 13 days later. People have been DMing me, asking what happened when Sabrina got back. I figured I owe you guys at least an update, because this got even messier than expected. Sabrina and Ivan get back from Prague on a Thursday afternoon. I know because I got a call from Mitchell at 4. Your stepmother's at my office. She's demanding to know where her things are right this second. I said, what'd you tell her? Well, that she was given notice to vacate and then she ignored it, and that you exercised your legal right to reclaim your property. I gave her the storage unit information like you said. Well, how'd she take it, buddy? Oh, not well. She's threatening to sue. I told her that she has no case and she left. Thought you should know. She's probably heading to the house next. Oh, she did? Mark called me 20 minutes later. He said, hey, Jerry, there's a woman here banging on the door saying she lives here. She's got some guy with her and they're both pretty upset. Should we call the law? Oh, no need to call the police. I'll handle it. Just don't let them in. I drove over. 2-hour drive, but I made it in 96 minutes. When I pulled up, Sabrina and Ivan were still on the porch, and she looked insane. Hair was a mess, mascara runny, screaming at the door. And Ivan was on the phone probably trying to call up a lawyer. Let's see how that works for you, buddy. She saw me get out of my vehicle and completely lost her mind. What did you do? Where's my stuff? You can't do this. I gave you 30 days, Sabrina. You ignored it. I moved your crap to storage. I took care of it, but you have the address. This is my home. No, Sabrina, it's not. It never was. And that's when Ivan starts to spark up. He says this is illegal. You can't just throw someone to the street. I didn't. I gave her legal notice. She chose not to take it serious. It was 30 full days. Mark came outside, big guy, calm as, "Is there a problem?" "Oh, no problem. They're just leaving." Sabrina looked at Mark like he betrayed her personally, and she said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Mark. I live here. My wife and I signed a lease. Apparently you think this is your home." You should have seen her face. She turned back to me, and for a second I thought she might actually hit me. "You rented out my home?" "Oh, my house, you mean? And yeah, Mark and Maddie, they're great tenants. I already like them." Ivan put out his phone again and said, "We're calling the police." I said, "Go ahead. I already talked to the chief. I've got the will, the notice to vacate, the lease agreement, my lawyer. What do you have? A dream?" They didn't call the police. Oh no, Sabrina tried one more angle. She cried and said, "Jerry, please, your father would be so ashamed if he could see this right now. I was good to him. I took care of him." I told her exactly 5 words. "You gave away my PlayStation." She blinked and said, "What?" I said, "My PlayStation, the one from Mom. You gave it to Ivan's nephew because I was too old for games. Well, how's this game for ya? Game over." She looked genuinely confused, like she could not fathom why I was bringing up something so small. "That's what this is about, a video game." "No, this is about 10 years of you treating me like I did not exist. This is about you erasing my mother from her own house. This is about you planning your next marriage while father was on his deathbed. The PlayStation 4. I don't care if there's a PlayStation 5 out. That was the last straw." I gave her the storage unit keys. She said, "Your stuff is safe. Rent paid for her 4 months, and that's it. After the 4-month mark, it's your problem." They left. Ivan peeled out of the driveway, tires still screeching. Sabrina didn't even look back. Mark looked at me and said, "You okay, mate?" I said, "Yeah, I'm good." So I found out later through Ben that Sabrina tried to contest the will. Claimed father wasn't in the right sound mind when he made it, and that I manipulated him, and Mitchell shut it down. There were medical records showing Dad was fully competent, and witnesses were right there at the signing. She dropped it after her lawyer told her that she would just be burning money. She and Ivan moved 2 states over, and I have not heard from her since, not a peep. The rental income from Mark and Maddie has been good. I put most of it towards helping some of my younger cousins with college. Figured Dad would have liked that, even though I know they probably spend like 10% of it on beer. Ben's sister is starting community college next year, and I'm covering her books. I also bought a new PlayStation. Not a 4 this time. The 5 is out. I did get a same model as the old one, though. PlayStation 4, just for looks. It's not the same. It's not Mom's gift, but it's something. I keep it at my apartment, and sometimes I play the games that Dad used to watch me play, and yes, it does help. I'm not going to update again, so thank you so much. Final update. Update number 2. It's been about 6 months now since everything went to hell, and I wanted to close the loop on this whole thing. Mark and Maddie are still renting. They just re-signed for another year, and my garden is flourishing. Maddie sent me photos of Mom's garden. She planted new roses and fixed up the bed. It made me tear up. Not gonna lie, the house is being lived in by people who actually care about it, and yes, that matters. I got engaged 3 months ago to my girlfriend Mary. We've been dating for 2 years, but I've been putting off proposing because of all of Dad's stuff and then Sabrina's drama. She knew everything that was happening and stuck with me throughout it all. When I finally asked her, she says she's been waiting for me to stop punishing myself long enough to realize I deserve good things. We're talking about buying our own place next year. Maybe closer to where Mark and Maddie are so I can check on the house more easy. Mary wants a garden too, says that she'll ask Maddie for advice. I don't regret what I did. Sometimes I feel petty about it. Like, did I really need to pack up every single thing of hers? Probably not. Could I have been nicer, kinder? Maybe. But she had every chance to leave with dignity, and she chose to play a game instead. She thought that I would roll over because I've always done it before. The thing Dad said to me about needing less than you think, I get it now. I don't need Sabrina's approval. I don't need to prove anything of her and Ivan. I needed the house because it's the last piece of the puzzle of Mom and I just needed to protect it from someone who saw it as just another asset. I still think about my PlayStation sometimes. It's stupid, I know. It's just a thing, but it represented something large, bigger than this casual cruelty. This assumption that my stuff, my feelings, my history doesn't matter, that I didn't matter. I replaced it, but you can't really replace what it meant, and I'm okay with that now. Ben asked me if I felt guilty, and the honest answer is sometimes. I cost Sabrina her home, even if it wasn't legally hers. She lived there for a decade. That's nothing, you know. I mean, come on, 10 years is a lot. But then I remember her smile when she told me I was too old for video games. I remember her wanting to just plow over Mom's garden like it was nothing, and I do remember her planning her future while Dad was in the room dying. And I just stopped feeling guilty.